Okay, so like imagine this for a sec, right? You're totally swamped with this crazy AI project.
Hmm.
Maybe you're building the next like super realistic deepfake, who knows? But you need some serious horsepower, processing power.
Yeah.
But instead of like selling your house to pay Amazon for their cloud, you're tapping into this network of devices,
Hmm.
like just like yours, all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what Aethir's trying to do. It's kind of wild when you think about it.
It is. It's definitely a different approach, right? I mean, it's a huge change from those massive data centers we're all used to.
Right.
With Aether, it's all about their DPIN ecosystem.
Stay pinned.
Yeah, it stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. Basically, they want to give everyone access to all this GPU power by creating a network.
Okay, so instead of one giant server farm, it's like,
It's like a million little ants, each with a tiny piece of data.
whoa, that's actually a great analogy. I get it.
And just like an ant colony, if one node goes down, no big deal, the others pick up the slack. Plus, think about it, data can be processed way closer to where it's needed.
What changed?
Faster speeds, lower latency, especially for things like gaming.
Now that's something I can get behind. But this de-us thing, it relies on these checker nodes, right? What are
Yeah.
those? Like digital bouncers for GPUs or something?
Uh-huh, kinda. They check the GPUs on the network, make sure they're legit, actually delivering the power they promise.
Okay, so how do they like test that?
Well, and here's the cool part. They get rewarded for their service
Oh,
with Aether's own cryptocurrency.
I save. See, I knew that Aethir Token would pop up eventually. We'll dive into that more in a bit.
Yeah.
But hold on, what about my old laptop?
Yeah,
Can it get in on this whole cloud revolution thing?
that's where Aether Edge devices come in. They can take, well, your laptop or anything, really. And with some software, it can contribute its spare GPU power to the network.
Wait, really? So my old laptop could actually be useful again?
Exactly. It's all powered by Qualcomm, by the way.
Hold on, back up. Why Qualcomm? What makes them so special?
Well, their chips are super power efficient, especially for the complex stuff, AI, graphics, that sort of thing.
I see.
Makes them perfect for Aether Edge devices because they can provide a ton of power without, killing your battery. Smart. So it's not just about having a ton of devices, it's about having the right devices. But how do we know people will actually, can contribute their computing power? What's stopping them from, cheating the system?
That's where those checker nodes come back in, remember?
Oh, yeah, right.
They're the ones making sure no one's slacking off.
Yeah.
And they're incentivized to do it right because they get those ATH rewards.
So the more accurate they are, the more ETH they earn.
You got it.
It's like this whole self-regulating ecosystem.
Exactly. And it gets better. They're launching a full-on governance system soon, late 2024, I think.
Really?
Powered by, you guessed it,
ETH.
AH.
Okay, now this is getting interesting. So, if I have some ETH, I get a say in how Aether works.
That's the idea. It's about giving users the control, voting on upgrades, how resources are used. Wow, that's way different from how these big tech companies usually do things.
Exactly. It's a total shift.
And this all circles back to those two big areas Aethir's targeting, right? AI and gaming.
Right.
Having all this decentralized GPU power, it's huge for developers in both those fields, right?
It is. It is. Think about it. For AI, especially machine learning, you need a ton of computing power. And it's expensive.
Yeah.
Aether's solution, their GPU as a service or GPU-as, it could really even the playing field.
So instead of needing a warehouse full of servers, you can basically rent the processing power you need.
Exactly.
That's mind-blowing when you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's like instead of buying a crazy expensive 3D printer, you just upload your design to Shapeways or something.
Yeah.
You get exactly what you need when you need it.
Exactly. And it's way more affordable.
Right.
Especially for, smaller companies, researchers, that sort of thing. This could be huge for them.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about us regular folks who just want to, blow off some steam?
Yeah.
How's Aether going to change how we play games?
Okay, so picture this. You can play any game you want
Mm-hmm.
with amazing graphics, no lag, all that.
Yeah.
And you don't need to spend thousands on a gaming PC.
Wait, are you serious? How's that even possible? Don't those top-tier games need, a ridiculous amount of power?
They do, which is where Aether's network comes in, right?
Okay.
Instead of your device doing everything by itself, the game is run across a bunch of different devices on the Aether network.
So you're telling me my old laptop is suddenly part of a giant supercomputer?
Pretty much, yeah.
And that makes it faster?
Way faster because those devices are spread out all over the place. The data doesn't have to travel as far, which means lower latency, no lag.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
But can they actually do all this? This sounds pretty ambitious.
It is. They've got this 6-month roadmap,
Uh-huh.
and it's packed with some pretty wild goals. But one of the main things they're focused on is making it super easy to use.
Okay.
So they're working on this thing called the Aethir Cloud Portal.
A cloud portal.
Yeah, it's basically your one-stop shop for everything Aethir, you know?
So it's like the control panel for all this decentralized GPU stuff.
Exactly. You can use it to, like, rent out your device's spare power, check your ETH earnings.
Oh, right, the ATS.
Yeah, and you can even use it to run AI models.
Speaking of AI models, we read something about this AI model as a service thing.
Oh, yeah, the MAS.
MAS, right?
It's basically Aethir making it super easy for developers to run their AI models on their platform.
So instead of needing their own servers and stuff, they can just, bring their models to Aethir and they handle the rest.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually.
It is. It's all about making AI development easier and more accessible.
I like it.
Oh, and one more thing.
Yeah.
They're also planning to move everything to the Selfon chain.
Right. The Selfon chain, we saw that in our research, too. I think it said something about it being good for ETH holders.
It could be, yeah.
Okay, so break it down for me. Why is this Selfon chain such a big deal?
So for one, it uses something called proof of stake,
Okay.
and which is way more efficient than what older blockchains use, proof of work.
Okay, so what does that mean for me, like, in English?
It means faster transactions, lower fees, all that good stuff.
Gotcha. And for ETH holders, what's in it for us?
Well, it could give us a chance to run these things called validator nodes.
Validator nodes, what are those?
Basically, you help keep the Aethir network secure, and you get rewarded for it.
So I could earn passive income just by holding Aethir.
Exactly.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a sec. Aethir's not the only game in town.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some competition.
Right.
It's like a jungle out there. Who are the big guys, the ones to watch?
Well, you've got Amazon, right?
Of course, Amazon's everywhere.
They've got their AWS, Amazon Web Services.
Right.
And then Microsoft's got Azure.
Okay.
So they're both kind of dipping their toes into this whole decentralized thing.
Uh-huh.
But it's tricky. Can they actually change fast enough to really compete?
Good point. Good point. But it's not just the big guys, is it? There are other smaller companies, right? All gunning for that decentralized cloud.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got, like, a cash network, for example.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of them.
They're really laser focused on this stuff, so it's definitely a race to the top.
It is. It is. But, okay, competition's good, right? It makes everyone up their game. But challenge, those can be good too sometimes, right? Opportunities in disguise or whatever. So what's Aethir got going for them? What are their advantages?
Well, I think one of their biggest strengths is they're really efficient.
Okay.
Because they're using all this, like, untapped processing power, right? All these devices just sitting there.
Yeah.
They can offer much lower prices than those traditional cloud companies.
Really? How much lower?
We're talking like 30–40% cheaper. Maybe even more, depending on what you're doing.
Wow. Okay. Now, those are some savings?
Right. That could be huge for, like, small businesses, researchers.
Totally.
And don't forget about those edge devices, right?
Right. Those things.
That's another big advantage for them. Because it's all about edge computing.
So it's faster.
Way faster. Data doesn't have to travel as far, less lag.
Okay. Makes sense.
Plus, they can scale way easier.
Because they're not limited by, like, physical space, like a data center.
Exactly. As the demand goes up, they can just keep adding more devices.
That's actually genius.
It is a pretty elegant solution.
It is. So, okay, big question now. Can they actually pull this off?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Or, like, billion-dollar question, probably. With all the money in cloud computing.
Right. It's a lot. But yeah, I mean, they've got a good vision, a solid plan. The tech is definitely there. But it's still a huge challenge building something this new, this different.
It's a gamble, for sure. But hey, high risk, high reward, right?
That's the name of the game.
It is. So we've covered a lot today. Aethir, their DAPIN thing, the Aethir token, even touched on world domination.
A little bit, yeah.
Or at least cloud computing domination. It's exciting stuff, you know? All these possibilities.
It is. It really feels like we're on the edge of something big.
We might be. Who knows?
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely. It's going to be a wild ride.
It is. It is. Well, on that note, thanks for listening, everybody. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you next time.
Where the future is alive.